Hey everyone, Jeremy here with a very special treat here. And if you have no idea why, you'll know soon enough. This is Runes of Magic, an MMO that I used to play almost exclusively for the better part of 3 years, I think. I've been away from it forever and ever and ever. And just recently decided to see if I could get it to run on my PC, and it seems to be holding up really well so far. So I had to do a video. So I don't know, let's see how this goes. I started a brand new character. I am at level 8 now, but as you'll soon find out, that's nothing at level 8. But I only did the tutorial and then a few basic starter quests to get some of my gear, which I don't even think I've put on yet. And I'm forgetting the hotkeys. To me, this is kind of special. It's kind of special. It's very nostalgic for me. I heard those first few like dings and blings, completing some quests and taking the quests and getting the rewards, and it really brought a smile to my face. It's amazing how sights and sounds can be remembered in a person and bring back and bring a smile to someone's face over such a thing. Some people probably think it's silly, but it's something I played a lot of. Let me see, I can't remember how to. That is the search and blacklist friends list. I can't believe I is not opening up my inventory. There's my skills. There's my quest log. Here we go. Okay. It seems to be H. It's default bound by H. I don't know if that was always that way or not. But, this is bringing back... I mean, it's just a flood of memories and nostalgia right now for me. Really it is. So, let me kind of just maybe start. I might do a series. I might have to, in typical me fashion, always veering off my planned game video, my game video plans. I have to get off my horse. I don't know where my horse is. I need to put my gear on. I think you can right click to just equip that, right? Yeah. I think that's what I wanted to equip. There's the ring you kind of got for doing the tutorial, plus 10 max HP. Yeah, this is fun. So, that's... what is this one? Plus 9 defense. Okay, I can wear both. That's right. I can wear 2 rings, 2 earrings, and a necklace. There's my horse. That should take me off of it, right? No, that seemed to be laggy, the way it counted down there. I forgot how to easily dismount. I think I can get into combat, though, and do it that way. I'll force it dismount in combat, but first I want to... Yeah, there's a necklace. And this requires level 4. They kind of do this like packages within packages. And level unlock. You have to, they're level locked, I mean. An unknown rune of level 1 to 10. Well, we'll go ahead, we'll open it, whatever. What I get? Quickness. Put that on. Gear up a bit. Well, this is better. Put that on. We're gonna open a bunch of these up. Oh, yes. Put that on. No, we don't want that. No, I just replaced that. Where's our... There it is. Another earring. that on. Boots. There we go. What we got here? Star Jewels. Increase the power level. This is really a treat for me. I'm going to be coming at you from an old school perspective. What do we have? Physical warfare. Oh, that's much better. This, I need level 9 for that. Okay. Let's get into combat. Because I want to get over and get my crafting stuff going on here. There we go. Oh, just forced. I didn't assign my skill points, so that's why I'm level 8, but still barely hurt that level 1. I need to, well, talent points, I think they're called. So I need to up those here. Ooh, up. Oh, I'm just remembering, like, so much at the same time. It's like somebody plugged my brain into a computer and is, like, downloading a massive amount of information, you know, all at once. So I'm gonna have to try to just, I don't know, ride the wave, and then try to sort it out for you guys, for everyone listening and watching. This game, but I played this game for 3 years. This is the game, this is what got me working at Massively.com way back in the day. I wrote an article called Lost Page. I called it Lost Pages of Taboria. It was a weekly column all about Runes of Magic. So I don't know if anybody would remember that. Probably not, because I only, these days on my new YouTube account, I get like 6 people to watch one video. I think I've got some videos going a month or 2 back that still only have like 6 views. But yeah, I had started writing all about this game, and I wrote for over 2 years, I think, on this game. I'm pretty sure. Let's see, testing your skill. Oh, we got that complete. We're doing a daily too, which a daily. Yeah, maybe I'll treat this like a newbie's guide to Runes of Magic a bit too. But anybody who's, I mean, there are some people that are still playing this. Oh, look at that! It's a KV. Now that's something that came in like chapter 3 or 4. I can't even remember. They separate their expansions in Runes of Magic by, they call them chapters. And there was one chapter, maybe it was chapter 4. I can't remember. They introduced, I mean, Runes of Magic, let me back up a bit. Runes of Magic, when it started, it was at a time when there was a lot of Korean games coming over and doing this free-to-play thing. But also, free-to-play was very frowned upon when it, you know, it was this like civil war going on with free-to-play versus subscription-based. And I don't know, I mean, maybe many of you will remember this. Maybe you're listening to this and wondering what the heck I'm talking about, but there was a time, not that long ago, when the whole atmosphere of gaming, MMO gaming, was different, and it wasn't that long ago. I mean, free-to-play games were just shunned and frowned upon by many, really. It was always like, you know, pay to play and power, you know, pay to win, and I think you still get that today, but today it's like wide open. This was before things like Tryon went free to play, before there was a Neverwinter, before Dungeons and Dragons Online, before any of those other games started going free to play, before Sony Online Entertainment had started pumping out the free to plays. You know, like, what is it, oh, Planet Side 2, was that it? I'm thinking of, yeah, before that. But this game, so what it was like, I'll tell you my version. Now, it's going to differ. My version's not biblical. It's not like you can't write it in stone. I'm probably not being as accurate as I could be, but in the early days, I'll call them the early days. In the early days, the scene was kind of like there was a flood of Korean games coming over, right? There was lots of them. There was Shia, 4-Story, Allods is probably grouped in there as well. Things like Allods, but many, many others that probably a lot of people have never heard of, even to this day, that are probably still going. And for the most part, they were built around kind of like grinding, and you could, and a cash shop. See, this is when cash shops were more of a newer thing, I guess, and not really the norm. Or they kind of were the norm by then, but the atmosphere and the gaming community at large, I think, was still warring and was still struggling over how they accepted it or not. Anyways, so these games were never held up next to any American games, right? Never, ever, ever. You know, it was always like you had websites and bloggers talking about World of Warcraft and Dungeons and Dragons Online and you know, some other games. Tron was announcing Rift. I think they even announced it under a different name originally. And then Runes of Magic came along. And all these Eastern games were very different. They weren't just like this, take a quest, and they were more like take a couple quests, but most primarily you're just going to be grinding on dumb, you know, large groups of mobs and then moving 10 feet and grinding for another hour to make half a level, this and that kind of thing, right? Those who know what I'm talking about. But Runes of Magic came along and was vastly, well, maybe I won't use the adjective vastly, but it was different. It was by a company called Runewaker. Why am I not? Wow, that KV stays out a long time. Why am I not collecting more of these? Oh, there we go. Well, it's taken a long time to do this quest. But, Runes of Magic hit the scene, and was like, and it was sort of like, whoa, what is this thing? It's sort of like a Western, it's sort of like a World of Warcraft, but it's sort of doing its own thing. It's like, whoa, what is this? And long story short here, I'll go back but the basics of it is, it kind of really stood up against the big boys in America. When Runes of Magic hit the scene, and the thing is, a lot of people didn't want to accept it either, not because of based on the game itself, but because they were just used to a flood of Korean games coming over and always being the same, and so it was just automatically lumped into that pile, put into that box, and but really it was different. And I had started playing it they did different beta phases, that maybe 3 or 4 of them, and I really didn't get into I only got into like the tail end of the beta, of like the last beta. So I actually only got to play for like 2 hours. Let's turn this in. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, we'll not be able to choose a secondary class. So this is a dual class. I'll get to all this later. I mean, most people watching probably already know what this game is, or the gist of it. But So, now we're talking about how Runes of Magic, when it first hit the scene, way back in, 2007, 2008? It was different. It was a new beast. And this was before a lot of major MMOs were doing things along the lines of dual classing and providing ways of seamlessly switching between tools and functions. There was still a little bit of an old school MMO mindset still going on, even in like 07, 08, 09, about things like looting and kill stealing and things like that. This thing, Runes of Magic, comes along and introduces some of these new concepts that other people were coming out with. It was about the same time that the whole industry was kind of warming up to it, and that was bleeding into America. I don't know if it was primarily from the East, but they were warming up to it, and it was coming from somewhere, or they were sharing ideas or whatnot. But, whoops, I went the wrong way. But, on top of that, so I'm talking about things like just... Here's the big one. When Runes of Magic hit the scene, a big selling point was get a mount from level 1. And back then, that wasn't the norm. It was kind of... The norm was the old school. This might be hard for you newbies, new to MMO players and that, but this is the truth. Not the exact truth. Talk to your friends or people who are in the know, and they'll tell you, though, pretty much, back in the day... most MMOs, even World of Warcraft, like, you had to do things to obtain things, like, you had to do more, and, like, one of those things was mounts. Like, it's like you played an MMO, it's like, it was just known that you weren't getting a mount until you were, like, level 15 or 20, until you earned that mount by earning the level, and then you only got a small mount, and then you got a better mount, and blah, blah, blah. Runes of Magic was like, here you go, have a mount from level 1. And then they just started introducing all kinds of things. They really did. They started introducing, where am I trying to go here? I need to talk to, I think, these people here. I thought it would give me a marker for them. Oh yeah, I just have to talk to them. I want to earn or learn herb collection. I understand. You are about to learn herbalism and will become qualified as an herbalist apprentice. This is another thing. In a day and age when you were limited, you had to think about what profession you wanted because you were going to only get one or two, and you were stuck with those. Runes of Magic was like, well, we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit more loose. You can kind of be everything. You can be a tailor, a blacksmith, a carpenter, an herbalist, a potion maker. You can be it all. But they did theirs a little bit differently. They did have a little bit of restrictions. Like, it was tiered. It was like, you can be a master of 4, something like a master of 4 or 5 of the professions. Then, like, because there was different ratings for how good you were at something. Like, you could be like a novice, or, I forget what it was. You could be like a commoner, and, what was it? Novice, skilled, but, it was like consecutive steps of better skill levels. And they were like, well, you can be a master of 4 of them. Or no, you could be like a master of 1 or 2 of them. But you could still take all the other ones. Then you could be like the next step, just one step below master of like 2 of them. And then 3 of them you can be a step below that level, and so on. And, so you could still take all of them, but you would only be the bestest at like 1 or 2 of them. Now, this doesn't qualify as that. This is just for gathering. For woodcutting and herbal gathering. This one, this doesn't count. I mean, everybody gets gathering. There's going to be herb. That's basically plant, wood, and then there'll be mining. and the miner is over here.